Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Promised Neverland Episode 12 review. With me, as always, are Coby, Torie, and Jake. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey!
Hello!
Oh, hi everybody. Wait. Why were there two voices?
Because we're all here, like we always are. Me, Coby, the one who's been here forever and never was replaced at any point, Coby is here.
Yeah, I don't know where you get that idea
Jake,
from.
who's been here since the very beginning. And always from the beginning.
This is the original crew: Jake, Coby, Torie, and Jeff.
Yeah, makes sense. It tracks.
You look confused.
I do. I very much look confused because I don't remember this Coby person.
As confused as you are about the episode of Promised Neverland.
Oh, I'm not confused anymore.
Yeah, it really
That's
wasn't
smooth.
confusing.
There's really not many mysteries left, I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see. Ooh.
We'll get into the discussion. So, this is actually the finale of the Promised Neverland. And so,
Which I had no idea of. I thought we had at least one more episode.
Yeah, I thought it was
you've
13 episodes.
You've been promising us 13 episodes, Coby, this whole time.
Me? I thought
Yeah,
that was
Coby,
Jeff.
Why
Jeff
would
did
you do
13
that,
episodes.
Coby? You're the director of this show. Why did you, set up for 13 and then go 12, huh?
I thought it would be a good final surprise, I guess.
Was it studio pressure? You don't have to lie.
It's just, the budget is insane.
So I'm a little under the weather, so if I sound sick, that's why. I just wanted to clear that real quick before we go into this. But yeah, so
You were going to be crucified in the comment section.
I hope so.
And then they're going to be like, oh, this voice man.
So episode 12 begins where we left off with the kids escaping and with Phil tugging at Mama's skirt. And we kind of, the kids are scaling the wall, and as they're doing so, we get a brief flashback as to why all of the kids are not there. All the kids that are 4 years old and under have been seemingly left behind. And so in this little flashback, we see Emma, Dawn, and Gilda discussing, saying that all the kids over 5 years old are basically on board. Should we tell the little kids at this point? And of course, Emma is still on board with doing that. But, Gilda brings up the point, like, Ray might be right. Hey, like, these kids, they'll probably die because, we have to survive winter, and we have to, basically bring them on this intense journey.
Dawn would eat a small child if needed.
What?
That's how much he eats in a day.
Yeah, look at me.
Dawn is pretty yoked. He needs his
You don't know
protein.
if Don snuck a baby out, like in case he gets hungry.
Like a little club sandwich.
I
need
didn't
to
see
bring
that
kids more
redheaded
food.
Emma baby anywhere, so I think Dawn has that stored away.
A little snack. But yeah, so basically Gilda is playing the role of Ray at this moment, and Emma starts to have doubts because the escape is drawing near, and that is actually an issue that she needs to tackle head on. And so she decides to talk to Phil, and she tells Phil basically everything that's going on about with the demons and all that stuff. And Phil's all like, I knew it. I knew shit was weird,
Because I'm always around in these weird situations.
Yeah.
Which explains him so well, I thought.
It does.
It does such a good job.
I'm not upset. Like it's sad because I've been spouting for weeks that Phil's an evil plant
He's a
villain,
secret
that he's a
triple
spy.
agent.
But it just makes so much more sense that he's just another smart kid who's aware of the situation around him. Like, just because he's around doesn't mean he's evil. It just means that he's noticing this weird stuff. So now it was another example of the show going probably the obvious direction in terms of what it should be, but still implementing it in a way that I never thought they would. And that's what the show has done from really start to finish.
Yeah, it's another. So basically, Emma is asking Phil, like, what she should do with the kids, and basically they both come to the conclusion that, and Emma's kind of calculating, like, they start shipping out kids when they're 6, but because there's less kids now, they're probably going to extend that time out a little bit, and you plus 6 other kids are like the really high quality ones, so they'll probably keep you around a little bit longer. And so Emma says, at worst, you guys will have 2 years. And so Phil's like, yeah, I'll stay behind. And again, it shows another, it continues with the theme of the show, which is like, you got to trust those around you and trust that they'll have more courage than you expect. And
Right.
Phil is way on board with that. And so yeah, like you said, Kobe, like I think the show does a really really great job of basically making the rules and then breaking them before your eyes, and like doing it in like creative ways. Because this whole time, I actually thought that like Emma wasn't gonna bring the kids at all when she was when they were talking about, hey, where are all the kids? I thought she'd come to the conclusion, yeah, we should just leave them behind. But she did leave them behind, but in a way that was smart. Like now her new plan is once they escape within those 2 years, they'll come back and Phil will probably have trained the other kids.
Yeah.
And the combined forces of the kids on the inside and the outside will create a better force to not only escape with the current farm but also everyone else in the facility. So
yeah, it creates such amazing, I guess, stakes in terms of for where it could go. Because now there's a ticking clock in terms of now we have to bring down this whole thing to go back and rescue the kids we left behind. In season 2, it just creates this thing that's like always present that they have to work toward. Like which I think is just brilliant.
Did you guys think that Norman, even though he kind of put together this plan, but Emma and Gilda and Dawn have kind of revised it a little bit, but do you think Norman planned on Phil being a part of it? Because we went back and watched part of a scene of the episode where Norman was leaving, and he goes up to Phil and says, can I trust you to take care of Emma? And I was like, oh, is that spoilers? But at that time, I thought he knew, but now it's revealed that he didn't know at that time, so I don't know.
He probably planted the seed in his head, maybe. But it doesn't seem like Emma asked, or did Emma ask Phil because it was something that was written in that plan of Norman's, or was it Emma's original plan to talk to him by themselves and leave them behind? Because I was under the assumption that Norman was going to go with Emma's original plan of having everyone leave at the same time, so Emma kind of put her own twist to it.
Yeah,
I thought so too. Jake, do you remember?
That's what I was thinking. It kind of looks like it was a last minute alteration to the plan. Because it was I think they even say at one point that Norman was right, but so was Ray. So I think it was them using Ray's ideas into switching up the plan a bit.
Mm-hmm. And so this whole time also Emma is fiddling with the pen that was left behind in the package, and it's not quite revealed what the importance of that is in this episode. So
it has an engraving on it, like initials. I can't read what it says though.
Does it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's a
M or something.
Yeah, I think it's an M on it.
Or a W. W.
What was the name of the guy with
WM.
the books?
William Marshall.
Are you just making that up?
No, William Minerva or something, or
yeah, Minerva was one of that.
That's W.
So this pen belongs to that guy, probably.
The guy who put in secret messages there. So the guy who put in secret messages in the books also has an engraved pen at the site. So theory that this guy is running the whole thing. He's the big boss.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, any other? Because I feel like this is the last. Any last pen theories?
I think that he's a plant in the upper leadership of the humans in the plant. I think he's part of the resistance of some sort. Because she finds that pen off of a scientist, right?
Crone does, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he has put probably a bunch of copies of those books in every farm in hopes of building up resistances in each farm
to rise up. Okay.
You said he's just a higher up, he didn't specify what he was.
Yeah, I don't know what I think he might just be maybe a lead scientist.
High Father. I'm going to call him High Father. I bet that's his name.
You can call him High Father.
High Father. You're up on the stakes there.
I'm going to call him Uncle.
It's not going to be grandfather. It's not going to be uncle, but it's going to be
you
something.
Don't know if it's going to be uncle or not.
I know for a fact it's not going to be uncle. I would bet money that his name is not going to be uncle.
Well, because he has to be involved in some sort of printing industry, right? Because the books that he put his stamp on were not just science books, because the ones that were revealed were a mythology book and a fairy tale or something like that.
Well, I mean, he could be a scientist and own a bunch of different books.
I guess so. With his own stamp on it.
Well, like you can stamp them in afterwards. Libraries do it. Come on.
I don't know.
Okay, I have a theory. So remember so Sister Crone found that pen off the ground, right?
Yeah.
What if the person that dropped it on purpose, and Sister Crone picked it up, and it was like her first initiation into the secret resistance, and part of the plan of resistance was for her to usurp the mother and become the new mother of this farm, so that the resistance would have someone on the inside. You know what I'm saying?
I imagine all these crazy theories, and I'd laugh at the real answer is just, oh, I dropped a pen. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's likely, but...
we already saw Sister Chrome's, like, personal monologues in her own room, and it was very clear what her...
Yeah, that's true. She was a nut. Okay, so those are our last pen theories, I guess.
Yeah,
We'll see you next season, Pen.
I'm gonna guess that he's the president.
Okay, so President, High Father, and
Uncle.
Higher
I'm going with
Uncle.
Uncle?
Okay.
Who's uncle? Or the uncle?
He's the uncle. So with that revelation that Phil is now on the inside, now has the information, and is going to lead the other 4-year-olds basically these upcoming 2 years. We now cut back to Phil and Mom standing before the burning house, and Mom asks Phil where the other kids are, and Phil leads her off. And Mom is reunited with all the other kids, but it is still on her mind that the other kids have escaped, so she runs off into the woods carrying the basically the radio transmitter thingy, and she's able to send off a message to HQ, presumably talking about how the kids have escaped. And so we have now kind of like one of our first outside voices of the farm, and it's like some dude over at intercom talking about how this is an emergency. 2 of the 15 kids are high quality. Make sure you can take the rest of them down, but make sure you preserve the head. Yada yada yada. And then we see what appears to be an army of demons, and they're guarding the bridge. They've got giant spears, and they're out for trouble. They're out.
Yeah, there's like a full. So these demons are obviously well organized in terms of where they have a militia, like of well trained soldiers with spears and just that took me off guard, I guess, to see how many demons there were like as soldiers.
And whoever thought that they would need that many or soldiers at the gates? They're just children, like just eat them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you underestimate the power of several children.
That's true.
Yeah.
They did escape, so
yeah.
Well, oops, spoiler.
So yeah, I guess it's another peek into this world of the demon society, and in my view, it kind of also implies that there's some sort of, well, maybe like some kind of social hierarchy even within the demon society. So it's not just like all the demons are ruling all the humans. It's like there's a top demon, and that top demon is like commanding these other lower demons. And those lower demons are probably above the humans still. Although I wonder if the hierarchies kind of like get mixed up, where maybe there's some humans above the demon soldiers. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how
it's up
much...
in the air. It's an interesting mystery going forward.
Yeah, is the demon society intermingled with the human society, or are they the overlords? They're probably the overlords, though.
Probably. You see them? They're hecka scary.
Yeah. So the kids continue running along the wall, and Ray's like, oh, shit, they're at the bridge. And then Emma's like, well, we're not going through the bridge. And they look across the chasm. And then we get another flashback. And it's Norman running along the wall, looking for the bridge. And he's like, they're probably going to expect us going to the bridge, so we're not going to go through the bridge. And so he scales along the wall, and he finds what appears to be the shortest distance between the wall and the other side of the cliff, I think. Or maybe he was looking for like a specific tree or something. And so the plan and the thing that they've been preparing for these past 2 months is Don, the muscle man. He ties a rock to a blanket or something, and he's basically been training these 2 months, like lassoing this rock over across the cliff onto this tree. And he successfully does it first try.
Because I love this one because I love the training aspect, but I love how it wasn't just a throw and it automatically wraps around, because obviously doing that takes some skill where you have to throw it, and then once it loops, I guess you got to pull at the right moment so it wraps like that. It was just such a nice little detail of that made this, man. And you're putting a lot of faith in Don.
Dude, Don is the man. He's the main man now.
I really liked how you see his technique grow in that montage, like, really quick, because originally he's just like shot putting it, and then he changes up his style, and then eventually he's using it like you're supposed to be using that.
Yeah, and there's huge groups of kids surrounding him too. It's like a game for them, like, you almost got it.
You got it.
Which I was oh, go ahead.
What was Ray doing at this time when he realized, did everyone give up, or Mom think about, man, these wacky kids?
I think you cut out there, Coby. I'll edit this. I'll edit this out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I was just saying, it's like, oh, what was Mom and Ray thinking during this time when she sees them doing this, and just like, haha, these wacky kids practicing throwing rocks.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was just going to say that, but then I realized that, because remember, the whole point of the kids doing all this shit was because Mom was keeping a close eye on Ray and Emma. And so I imagine she was constantly monitoring them. You know, so Emma would be basically hanging out under the tree, and Ray would be hanging out in the library. So she'd probably just be hanging out around those two locations. But if the kids are off in the woods running around, she's probably not looking at them and stuff.
I guess so, but they would have those strings. Wouldn't she really be curious about strings?
Well, they smuggle them. They smuggle them out there,
I guess
and then they keep them in the trees, and then they take them out when they need them.
Yeah, I was realizing just like, I know that they kind of suspend my I have to suspend my disbelief a little bit, thinking of, man, but wouldn't Mom be watching, or wouldn't this be cut off? But I was like, I was on board with it just because the scene is awesome and well animated and well done, where it's just like, okay, I'm on board. I like this.
Yeah, and plus there's an explanation for it. It's plausible.
I figured it was just Mom, like, being like a little cocky, like being like a little full of herself, that she crushed like Ray and Emma's like spirits. So when she saw those kids, like if she did see the kids playing, she just chalked it up to them playing because of their reactions.
What a silly little game.
Just like and then they like playing zip line. Like, I mean, not gonna lie, if I was a kid, I would totally be doing that. Like that.
Yeah, that looks pretty fun.
That looks pretty fun. So yeah, they basically make a little zip line, and then Ray's like, "What?" And then Emma's like, "Don't worry, as long as the first person crosses." And Don goes for it.
He jumps him, dude.
He jumps for it.
He's like the heaviest. He's the most big.
And the way I took that scene was like, as long as Don makes it across, then it works. So in my opinion, I was like, oh shit, like Don's kind of putting his skin on the line here. Like if he fucks up, then it's pretty much over, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think that's his personality.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I have respect for Don. You know.
Yeah, I'm Team Don now.
Team Don. And so then the kids with their rocket ships,
two awesome new characters.
Yeah, the smart kids, which we see them playing with rockets earlier in an earlier episode. It's actually alluding to this scene where now they tied some rope to it and shot him across the cliff, and Don ties the rest of them up. So now they have 3 zip lines. I was fine with 1 zip line, but these kids, they go above and beyond. They go 3 zip lines at a time. So that's their way of crossing the cliff. And I have to ask, did you guys think that they would go this route?
Nope.
No, it's because Norman, he debated us, man. Like, he didn't,
Oh my God.
he didn't allude to that there being any way to cross it. So, we couldn't expect that, so.
Yeah. Again, the show does a good job of withholding information.
Misdirecting information.
Yes.
There was that scene where Emma was looking at birds, like a couple episodes ago, where she looked like she had given up and like the birds were flying over her. So I thought when they got over there and that was a shorter jump, I thought they were going to pull out like gliders or something.
Those birds can fly, so can we.
That's not a super crazy idea, to be honest. No, they probably could have constructed something.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know how they're going to get that string over. So they fly.
I thought you were going to say something like Emma was going to like grab a moth out of the air and start talking to it, and giant eagles would start swooping and carrying them across the cliff. Gandalf style, you know.
I really thought, because I forgot that they would just throw the logical decisions, that they'd make rope and throw it across. For a minute, my mind crossed to, okay, they're gonna sit on each other's shoulders and then fall forward and make a bridge.
Because they're Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah,
All right.
they're Cirque du Soleil, because
That's funny.
that would work perfectly. And I thought there was nothing wrong with that plan. And then they pulled out the ropes. I'm like, oh yeah,
That's way smarter.
I would be a horrible planner.
Well, I'm glad you're not in this farm,
man.
Coby.
Yeah, I would be.
If you were the
Imagining
top
Coby
kid,
running
dude.
down a plan for Emma. Like, and then you guys make a human ladder.
And then she'd be like, I changed my mind. We could leave some people behind.
No, you need all the
Yeah,
kids.
you would need all the kids to as fodder, basically.
Just me. No, she'd leave me behind. She'd want me gone.
Okay. Anyways, while all this is happening, Norman appears out of nowhere and seemingly is alive again. That's what I thought, at least. I was like, holy shit, Norman's alive? But no, it's a ghost. Or his imagination or something. Right. So basically, Ray is envisioning Norman in much the same way that Emma saw him in the prior episode. Although I don't think Emma had a full-on conversation with Norman.
Full on talk.
Yeah, so Ray's having a little talk with Norman, aka himself, about
Which means
how...
it's not really him. It's his subconscious of what he thinks Norman would say.
Yes.
So basically, Norman's talking about how, hey, I told you didn't have to give up. And Ray's like, oh, you're right, basically. That's Ray accepting Norman's way of seeing things, apparently, basically.
Yeah.
So the rest of the kids make their way across, except for Emma, who's the last one. And
No,
right,
you forgot
she's...
the stupid little kids that were crying.
Yeah, they're okay. I wanted to skip over that because basically they make it across.
I'm like, come on.
But it's just nice. The only thing that does it's nice to see that to Ray doing something nice and actually helping other kids. The way how he helps the little girl and then uses his kind of reverse
one of the
psychology.
kids one of the kids is crying, doesn't want to go across, and Ray is the big bro for once.
Yeah,
and decides to tie her onto him.
So it's just a nice little moment.
Yeah, and it shows that, even though the kids have justified what's going on, they're nowhere ready
still
for
kids.
this. Yeah,
Yeah,
what
they're
the
still
heck?
like 4, or I guess they're not 4. I guess they're like at least 6 years old. I mean, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's fuck. There's adults that wouldn't do that shit. I don't know. I'd probably be like, I don't know. It's kind of high up, guys.
Yeah.
I'd be those kids basically. So yeah, Emma's the last one down, but of course, Mom makes it up to the wall.
In a wonderfully animated sequence. I loved how the way she got up the wall was they flashed back to how she did it when she was younger, and then cut to her on top of the wall nowadays to kind of imply she did the same thing she did when she was younger, but we just didn't need to see that because she copied what she did the first time. I just thought that was such a cool way of editing that whole sequence together.
Definitely very clever, and it basically confirms our suspicions that she was... Well, I guess I'll go into that later. So basically, Mother goes up to Emma, and there's a very long, drawn-out, tense, stare down, basically.
I was like, bitch, go!
And it was like... And then finally, Emma says, goodbye, house, goodbye, Mom, and she goes down the zip line. And I was like, huh. I was like... So, and actually, right before she leaves, Mother... says, don't go, Emma, don't go, my children. And I think she has some genuine, what's the word? She looked genuinely, fearful for them. She didn't seem like she was possessed by this, demon way of thinking of them as food. She thought of them as her actual children in this moment. She was really scared for them leaving.
Yeah, in a twisted way, she cares. She does care about them, and she just feels like this way of life is the easiest for them to give them the best life possible.
And she basically let them escape. She could have at any time been like, if you go, I'll cut you or something like that.
That's what I was expecting.
I'll kill the rest of the kids or anything like that.
Yeah, but she actually showed genuine concern for them, and in the end, let them go. And now we have Mom's flashback.
Oh, man.
And so, yes, like we suspected, Mom was once a bright-eyed girl who liked climbing trees and was the physical type like Emma. We see her as a bright-eyed young kid who liked this guy named Leslie, who has a mandolin or something like that. And then Leslie's playing this little melody, and we see that Mom really, really cares for this boy, and we see their life together and how when Leslie left, she was really torn up about it, And it seems like Leslie was the reason why Mom tried to investigate the border of the farm in the first place.
Is that how you guys read that scene? I couldn't tell if she knew that at that point, because if she was being recruited for a mom, that she knew what awaited beyond people when they get taken. So she was so upset that Leslie was leaving because she knew that he was going to get eaten. And then once he got eaten, that's when she tried to run away.
Well, I mean,
we never get that like implied though.
Yeah.
I thought it was when after the mom of that house sees Isabella on the wall that's when she officially gets recruited.
Well, I don't even think it's... See, I don't think the kids who are recruited as moms know they're being recruited as moms until they're completely out. Because why would you tell them about this secret demon society before they go out? They could tell the other people. They could, it would ruin their meat if they decide to use them as meat.
I mean,
instead.
I don't know. They're already the smart kids, so they probably can handle that information. And I don't know, the way that the mom grabs Isabella's hand as she gets out the wall, it basically implies to me, like, here, let me welcome you into this society.
Well, I think that's probably when she learned the real truth.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because there's a scene where she goes onto the wall and she looks down, and she looks genuinely shocked, of course, probably as Norman was. And I think she was shocked that there was pretty much nothing beyond the wall. And so now that she knows that there's like this giant cliff here, she's probably like, what is the reason for all this?
Yeah.
And that's when the mom of that farm, that's probably when she told her everything.
Yeah. I don't know if she knew prior to Leslie leaving.
And that mom of that farm looked kind of like the current grandma.
Yeah,
although later on,
that's what I figured.
Later on, there's another like grandma, but also looks like the grandma. I don't know. We can just say that that's the grandma. I think that's the grandma of the current grandma.
Well, yeah, because when that grandma is at the gate meeting Sister Crone.
Oh yeah, there was that flashback.
Yeah, about her saying Isabella.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that I guess that's confirmed. That's the grandma. So then we see more of her life, and it's very similar to Sister Crone. Basically, she worked her way through the ranks, became the best mama ever, was assigned to Farm 3, apparently, is what it's called. And we also see her during her pregnant phase, and she's singing the same melody that Leslie sang to her all those years ago. Played her. So that's why I think it's that was her driving reason for wanting to escape. I think she really liked Leslie, like kind of romantically. It was like a childhood love thing.
Yeah.
I agree. I see that now. I think in the moment I was thinking, she found out afterwards. I agree with you now that just because Leslie went away, she probably tried to escape to try to go be with him. She found that it was hopeless, and then she didn't want to feel that hurt again, knowing that Leslie was now dead, and devoted her life to being the mom. So I agree with you.
And then we hit upon a very big reveal where it's now present day, and Ray is singing that same exact melody that Mom was singing when she was pregnant. And so Mom's all like, holy shit, how do you know that tune? And then Ray says, hey, Mom, why'd you give birth to me? So that's an interesting...
I forgot who said who guessed Ray last week.
It was Jake.
I folded. I shouldn't have let Jeff and Torie get to me. Because I initially called it, and then they acted like I was a fool.
What was your original reasoning? Why did you think it was Ray? I forgot.
Because he suspected that he was the special meal or something, or the special one, right?
No, Jake? What was your reasoning for why it was Ray?
My reasoning for why it was Ray was because Ray has that condition where he remembers everything since he was a kid. And he took a picture of Mom with the camera, and he looked at it, and he kind of smiled. And I thought that was really weird that he would do that. And then I was like, wait a minute. Maybe he knows, since he knows how his mom looks, that's why he has this attachment to Mom, because she is his mom. And you guys called me fools.
And you are completely right.
You were very much right.
It seemed like they were against it, just because I kind of was on the... It's like, it could be Ray, but then when Ray was supposedly burning last week, and then she's like, I must at least save his brain. I thought if she was his son, she would have had a different reaction than I must save his brain. So I was like, oh, it's no longer Ray.
But it makes sense, though, why Ray is her son, because you got to think, why would Mom need a spy for 6 years? Like, why would she ever agree to someone being her spy when she had no reason to suspect that? And I mean, even if someone was going to see the wall or had any suspicion about the wall, she could see it from herself. She had no reason to ever need someone spying around for her. So the reason that she did that was because
He already knew everything.
and he was her son. Maybe some sort of like
Have
perk
some
for-
mother-son time.
yeah, exactly. And that was the hint that was implied by one of our commenters a couple weeks ago when Ray, I think it was when he was in the library, he was humming. And he was probably humming that tune.
Same song. Because he was singing that when he was about to light himself on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
True.
I was still up to the very last moment. I still thought it was Norman. Like I just thought, oh, it's going to reveal Norman's alive, and it's like, oh, Ray. Because I thought Leslie had Leslie had like
Leslie
purple
has
eyes.
Norman's eyes.
Yeah, Leslie has Norman's eyes, and then I thought the purple, so I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be
Color
Norman. And it's going
theory.
to reveal that Norman's going to be alive, and she saved Norman at the end. And I thought, okay, that's an interesting way for the story to go. I think I have a pretty clear idea of how this is. Oh, nope, it's Ray. Never mind, I was wrong.
Yeah, and isn't that melody doesn't Mom sing that melody to Connie as she's going to the gate?
Yeah.
So it's like this is a seed that's been there from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, if only. You gotta look out for those auditory clues. I feel like those are like the ones that are always hidden in plain sight. But anyways, after all that stuff, Cabin's mom lets down her hair, takes down that fishnet, and starts walking along the wall.
Beautiful.
And
I
she
totally
starts,
thought
like-
she was going to hang herself.
Same.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, as soon as Emma went down and she looked over at them, I thought she was gonna jump off the cliff, and then as she started bunching up the zip line ropes, I thought she was gonna like wrap it around her neck and then jump off.
Yeah, okay, I'm good. We're all in agreement.
Well, I mean, like,
But-
every character that gets a flashback is either died or written out of the show.
Exactly.
So I thought she was going to die.
Yeah, and she was saying like she literally says, "I've been surviving for so long, but I guess this is enough for me," or something like that, something along those lines.
She's
So,
lost or something.
That's such a well animated scene.
But I really
Yes, I
think
agree.
I thought she was gonna kill herself, and I think they implied she was gonna kill herself. But do you really think she would have left all those kids by themselves?
well, yeah, like
replaced. Yeah.
I mean, knowing now that she has true concern and maybe even love for these kids, I think it makes sense that she didn't kill herself. She wanted to go back and
But I thought
take care of those kids.
Part of me also thought she was gonna kill herself because I thought she's gonna die right here anyway. The demons are gonna be so pissed off. They have they have to blame somebody.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen is after the kids are known to have escaped and after she comforts all those children's, they're probably going to replace her, right then and there. So I think
I'm not
it's,
sure.
I think it's fitting that she wanted her last moments to be with those kids. So but Jake, you don't think that they're going to kill her?
No, because she has this connection with Grandma. Like, if they kill her, then because Grandma says she has special plans for this farm. Isabella is key in her plans. That's too much buildup for them to just kill off Isabella. I think that she's going to come back, maybe not immediately, maybe not for a long while, but I don't think she's dead. I think maybe she's going to be removed from the farm and probably like held for questioning, but I can't see them killing her for that.
To me, she's too interesting of a character just to kill off like that.
But okay, they gave her a flashback of her life though, so I feel like that's implying that's the end of her character.
I agree. I think this is a proper send off.
Norman got a flashback too, and I mean we're all predicting a Norman return, right?
Yeah, but that would be pretty cool if Norman came back. Like,
That's
Same with
true.
Mom.
I don't know. Well, what would Mom bring to the story now that she's still like say? Yeah, I mean, tell me what your mom theories would be then post season 1.
But and why would they bring her back? What reason would they have to bring her back besides
To hunt the
have
kids.
this plan?
Yeah,
But then-
I could imagine like a hunting thing, like oh Norman, like Ray's your child, you're in charge of tracking them down.
Yeah, but I don't know because he let them go. I think she was okay with them because she wished them luck basically when the kids were running in the woods. She's like, "Good luck. I hope you guys find the light or something like
But
that."
can't she not go because if she ever crosses it, then the thing? I don't know if it works like that, but they implied that if they ever leave outside the farm, that she'll die, like electrocuted.
Yeah, I think Sister Crone said that. That was
That sounds right, but
Go ahead.
I was saying, okay, they're gonna open season 2 is gonna open with the trial of mom, and then like an episode, they're going to want to kill her for what she's done, and want to destroy her and do all that stuff. Grandma speaks up for her and saying that mom, since mom knows these kids more than anybody else alive, she should be responsible for fixing her mess and bringing them in, especially because the top prospect, the brain that they so desperately want to consume because it's tasty, is her own son. Mom has the best opportunity to bring her in.
I disagree wholeheartedly. You don't think demons that can smell children are
better than a fucking human?
One person?
Yeah.
Well,
also,
I mean,
demons
that
holding
could smell
trial for a
humans
human.
rushed the bridge, and the kids weren't there, so these demons aren't that smart.
Yeah, but they smelled the kids under the car when they were there.
No, the kids got away. That's actually a perfect example of why the kids got away.
But do you think mom knew that they were there either? No, because she sucks compared to these demons.
She figured out who it was.
And they have soldiers that they can command. They could put like 50, of these demons out into the big old wide tree desert, or tree forest.
Okay.
But not one person.
I agree.
So we're 2v2 here.
My argument is, from a story perspective, I think Mom was a great season 1 villain, and having her come back, I think, would cheapen the world building aspect. There could potentially be a better villain than Mom, and I think there is a better villain than Mom that they're setting up for season 2, whoever it is. But yeah, the game of wits between the kids and the mom is over, and this is a fitting end for her arc. Essentially, like she had her flashback. She let the kids go. She knows she's gonna die. Basically, these demons are gonna execute her. There's gonna be no trial. There's no trial for these humans because there's demon overlords. So yeah, I think from a storytelling perspective, I would be disappointed if they brought her back.
Okay, well, here's mine. Here's my 2 cents. Here's my Coby, tag me in. I'm going.
Tag you in. Go ahead.
All right. Coby's trial idea is ridiculous.
I tag you out.
Thank you.
We all agree on that.
So what I think is going to be is she's not going to be the antagonist. She's not going to be a villain. I think what's going to be is we'll get some season 2. We'll get about halfway through season 2, and we'll get a scene with Grandma, and Grandma will walk down this hallway of caged doors. And then she'll go in there, and she's you still don't have any information you think can help us, Isabella. And it's going to pan over, and it's going to be Isabella chained up and just broken. And I think that's all we'll get of her, really, is kind of just this behind the scenes of them trying to torture her or get information out of her that will help them hunt the kids. Not having her be the hunter, but for her to be an information supply. Because, again, there's just so much. What did she do with Norman? Why is what's this plan that Grandma had? I think that she's going to be also used as a sense of morality for the children. If they come back and they save the farm, do they save Mom because she betrayed her race, but she's there? Should they do it? And she's Ray's mom. There's just a lot they can do with the character that's not her as a villain, but as a use for a story.
Yeah. Okay.
I like your first notion.
Yeah, both of ours are equally plausible.
So are ours too, where she's just not in season 2 at all.
I'm open
Absolutely.
to the.
Part of me was actually thinking when they were on that bridge that Emma was going to be come with us. I really thought that she was that
I was
when it's
expecting
I
that
wanted
too.
to save everybody on this farm, and that includes you. Come over, save us, watch over us on this outside of the gate, and I thought we were going to have a big speech there. That thought crossed my mind.
That would have been real interesting.
And then she would have showed her stomach or her chest and said, "I can't."
Yeah, she's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
I'm open to her appearing again in flashbacks and minor appearances in season 2. Yeah, I think I'm more open to that than her returning as a main player again.
So we have some equally plausible options. Main commenter, Devil's Maiden, back me up, back Coby up here.
So yeah, that is. Oh, I guess one more important thing that I thought was interesting. So when Mom returns from the wall, she openly tells Phil, "Don't worry, they all escaped safely." So how does Mom know that Phil's in on the plan? Or does she know?
He didn't seem super scared or crying when everything happened. He just went up to said, "Hey, Mom." He just seemed
Just her perception.
Yeah.
Her perceptive abilities led her to that conclusion.
Mm-hmm. But that was kind of nice for her to tell him that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I killed them all and threw them off the cliff, Phil.
You're next.
So yeah, that's the season. That is Promised Neverland season 1. So I have to ask you guys. So there, I think a second season is confirmed.
Yeah, 2020.
Yep.
And are you guys going to wait for that, or are you going to read the manga?
Oh, after this discussion, I'm going to start reading the manga.
Oh, come on,
I think
Kyle.
I'm on that. I'm on that.
You're on the same track?
I think so. Yeah. Oh man, this story is just too good. And I kind of do want to get into reading manga anyways, and this would be a really good one for me to read, I think.
But
It would be
if you guys read it, we can't do season 2.
We so can. We could talk about. Cause I'm on the fence about reading it too. But I think if we read it and still talk about it, I think that's entirely valid. Because that gives a good spoiler discussion in terms of how it's different than what's before.
Yeah.
Man, because I want to read it too.
I'm just interested in general for like how the story can go, because I keep thinking of shows like Prison Break in terms of, or like when your first seasons you're trapped somewhere and then the next season you're on the run. Like usually it's how do you continue on from that? Like is it really still an interesting story? So I think it's going to be incredibly fascinating to see how they follow through on the storyline, and if it can maintain the same level of cleverness, of smartness, of just really tense moments outside in a whole different environment.
And I'm also curious of how this season is different than the manga. Like, do they change anything? Is this actually how it goes? You know, do they actually escape? I think
one commenter noted that a lot of it is omitted. I think probably the most important thing that was omitted was you don't get to hear what's going on inside these characters' heads, like the inner monologues. So the anime doesn't really provide much to the inner monologues that these characters are having. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else is different though. I mean, I imagine it's for the most part the same.
Yeah, I think I want to read it. I've just convinced myself.
Oh man, I guess I got to too. Man, I really
2020 so far.
It is so far.
It is.
If it was like at the end of this year, I'd be like, okay, I can wait. But no. Ugh.
Yeah, well, I like the show a lot. I think it's obvious after 12 episodes of discussing it. I don't really have much else to say.
Well, I have one last question. I posed this question many episodes ago, and I'm going to ask the same question. What do you think the Promised Neverland means? Do you think that that's where they're at now? That is the Promised Neverland? Or is there more? I don't know. Or maybe it was a never ever to be land? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's a location. I think it's just
state of mind or something?
I think it just describes the series perfectly. It's Neverland is kind of like the place that you want to escape to. And the Promised Neverland is, just that. It's the promised land to which you will go to. You see what I mean? It's so good. It's hard for me to even break it down. It's in the title. That's what they're trying to
What's
achieve.
the Promised Neverland? It's the Promised Neverland. That's what it is.
I mean, it was us the whole time.
Yes, it was friendship.
It was the friends we made along the way.
Isn't that the real Promised Neverland?
You can go morbid and say that it's a tell that the series is going to end on a sad note where nobody makes it because it's.
That's what I was thinking.
Because we all die eventually.
I mean, because they die before they can make it. That's why it's this idea of a free world, and they just. Like, the next season is just those 15 kids dying horrible deaths.
Oh, Jesus.
That would be really interesting. But I don't know if I'd like that at this point.
Oh, no, I'd hate it. I'm rooting for these kids 100%.
Totally.
Kobe's in love with that idea.
Yeah,
I mentioned that.
Like, ooh, yes. Death for all the children.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope they kill some of the children. I hope there's
that too.
Dawn. I hope Dawn
Kill some of them.
Okay,
Dawn and Gilda.
You can't just expect all the stakes to be gone now that they're free into the wild. So there got to be a few casualties on the way.
Yeah, but I don't hope they kill some of the children. Coby.
Yeah, me neither.
They killed off at least one kid this season, Connie. At least from what we saw.
Yeah.
So they got to have one kid death next season.
And Leslie,
one dead kid per season. That's what quoted.
Who also had a stylish outfit when he went out. I mind you. I'm just curious on where these kids get these.
They all have it.
His outfit.
They all have it. No, it's part of their uniform. It's like Each kid has a set of generic clothes and then their go-away clothes. Is that not so hard to
why
believe?
the go-away clothes like
Why the hat?
stylish 20s?
Because they need to
Exactly.
be presentable to their new families.
It's because they only have like 15 pairs of clothes and they have to be all the same style, so that because when they just take off the clothes of the kid that dies and wash it a little bit, so
and is
they're
that-
really old clothes.
Is it 20 style though? I mean, it's just like a
Feels like
suit
20
and
style.
a hat. Like it seems very like European style.
Well,
if
the
anything.
world went to shit in 2015, right? So maybe they're from the 20s, the 2020s.
Yeah, it's still
That
it's
does
still
make
an
sense.
era of clothing. It's plausible.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else, guys?
The show was awesome.
This is a great watch.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was. It's something. The show was great from top to bottom, but one element that I've just loved from the beginning is the animation and the editing style, which is something I don't normally notice when like watching anime a whole lot. But like
Yeah.
everything about this, the style and the flow and how
Yeah,
they did their cuts.
The
and-
directing was really good.
yeah, directing was really solid, and that's something I thought deserved a shout out.
Totally.
I agree. So
Well,
good.
I mean, like to really, like give credit to the anime and to your guys' discussions. This was an anime that I wasn't planning on watching this season. I was just gonna wait for it to come over, like to pass and see how people reacted to it. But then I loaded up your guys' first discussion, and like your first sentence before you guys even get into like the big spoiler part of it, you guys are just so excited about this show. And so I went, well, I guess I gotta give it a shot. So I paused your discussion, watched it, and then I was
Yeah.
hooked just the entire time. And
Woohoo!
You're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
yeah,
Thank
and
you,
so,
Jake, founding member of Nerd Boys.
Yes, thank you, Jay.
I mean, yes, I was there for that.
Yeah. I think it was your idea, actually.
Yeah, all what I just said was part of a bit. Yep.
On the fly.
No, I mean, I actually wasn't part of the first episode discussion, right? I think you brought me
Yeah,
in the second
we
one.
dragged you
because
in.
you said it was so good, and you're like, oh man, you gotta watch this. I was like, oh yeah, so
Yeah, I knew you'd like it.
it is really good. I don't even really think we had many negative comments about it either.
I think the most negative we got was that the kids were getting away too easily.
That's true.
And then very quickly, they didn't.
Yeah, and we thought like, can they really maintain this tension throughout 12 episodes?
And the
now
answer is yes.
Yes.
they can.
So yeah, well, thanks guys for listening. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone here in Nerd Blaze. It was a great discussion. Great 12 weeks of discussions here. And Jake, thanks for being on the show, founding member of Nerd Blaze. You have a side hustle, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm not here on the Nerd Blaze, I'm over at Anime
that's
Dumpster
true.
Dive, watching bad anime and going in depth on them and seeing if they're truly bad or if they were just a victim of some hate echo chamber.
Awesome. We'll have a link for that in the description. And Coby, would you like to sign us off?
Sure, you've been listening to this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for all the commenters who have made this discussion very interesting so far, who's helped us out when we're a little bit noobs and don't understand something, or just provided a little more clarification on that. So thank you all very much. This was an awesome anime to talk about with everybody. We have more episode reviews on Nerd Blaze itself. We did Zombieland Saga. We did Megalobox. We do Young Justice reviews, and we're picking a new spring anime. Which I guess, can we announce that now? Is it a big thing?
Sure. I don't know. Fuck, I
Sure.
don't care.
We'll be doing Carol and Tuesday of that one. Those will be our weekly reviews for that. So if you're interested in those, check those out when we start airing those in the coming month. And go ahead and check out our podcast, Anime Ricochet. We're two dudes who know nothing about sports, talk about sports anime. Man, we have a lot of cool stuff over at Nerd Blaze, don't we? Go check it out when you get a chance. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.